going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a custom right-click menu or context menu. This is what we're going to end up with. So what I have here is a React app with a people array in state. I'm just mapping through that people array and rendering a list item. So first thing we're going to do is capture the onContextMenu event, create a function, and we're going to pass in we've got two arguments, one being the event and another argument called right-clicked person. And all we're going to do for now is prevent the default, which currently is this. And let's actually add this onto our list item. We're going to pass in a function and we're going to call our handle context menu, pass in the E and the person that we're iterating through. Next thing I'm going to do is just make a piece of state for the context menu, set it equal to a object, and properties are position. This is an object with two properties, one being X, setting it equal to 0, and a Y, setting that equal to 0. These are coordinates, and toggled, false by default. So let's go ahead and actually make the context menu. So I have the CSS and the JSX file. I'm gonna first import the CSS file, and then I'm gonna create my component. And this is gonna return a menu element, and we're gonna export it. So this is gonna have a few props. Okay, so not all of this will make sense yet, but it will. So first we're gonna loop through our buttons and render those out. We're gonna say onClick is equal to a function that I have not made yet. Stop the propagation. We're gonna be passing through an array of buttons for the context menu. Each of those buttons are gonna have a custom onClick function. The button that we're mapping through, we're gonna call this onClick function and we're gonna pass in the event and the item that we've clicked on. Another property of our button is going to be isSpacer. This right here will be the spacer, and we're just gonna say if button isSpacer, we're just gonna return HR, pass in the key so we don't get a complaint from React. All right, so our button that we're rendering, we're going to also pass in a key, and we're gonna give it a class name of ContextMenu button. In this button, we're going to render a span, and in this span, we're gonna render the text of the button, and we're also gonna render an icon, which is just another string. Gonna give it a class name of icon, and we're gonna render button.icon. We're gonna connect the ref. We're gonna say ref is equal to ContextMenu ref. The way we're gonna position the context menu is we're gonna say top is equal to position X plus 2. And the plus 2 is just to make it a little offset from the mouse so it doesn't interfere. And then we're just gonna add the PX string, so pixels. Same thing with left. Oh, actually, this should be position Y. And this menu is gonna have a class name of context menu, and we're gonna have a string template that says if it's toggled, add the string of active, and if it's not, add an empty string. So let me go ahead and add the context menu component. So here our first prop is gonna be a ref that we have not made yet, and we're gonna say context menu ref is equal to useRef with a default of null. We're gonna pass that ref into our context menu is equal to context menu ref. And we're gonna say is toggled is equal to our context menu state of toggled. Position X is equal to position.x. Same thing for Y. And so our buttons, we're gonna have a array of them. We're gonna say buttons is equal to, so just have a list of buttons here. They've each got a text, icon, onClick, and a isSpacer flag. The icon is what will show on the right. I've got an error. Oh, context menu, not context. Find, oh, buttons, not button. All right, so we've got a terrible looking version of our context menu. Let's go ahead and bring in some CSS to fix that. All right, so I've got some CSS here. Disregard the zombie code. Okay, so now we can go back to the handle onContextMenu function and actually make this context menu show up. So we're gonna say const ContextMenu attribute is equal to ContextMenu ref. And this gives us a handful of properties. And I'll go ahead and console log that so you can see. When we right click one of these items, we get a handful of things. We've got a bottom, height, left, right, top, width, X, and a Y. This is gonna be what determines if it's on the left side of the screen. So we're gonna use the client X property from our event, which is basically where your mouse is on the screen. Is that less than the width of the window divided by 2? Pretend there's a line right here. If you're over here on the left, then this will be true. Then we're gonna create two variables. One is going to be X, and we're not going to set it to anything. The other is going to be Y, and we're going to set that to e.clientY, which is going to be where we are on the Y-axis. So we're going to say if is left, then we're going to set X equal to client X. Basically, we're going to set X to wherever our mouse is. And if it's not on the left, we're going to set it equal to client X minus the width of the context menu, .width. And then we're going to set our state. And since they're named the same thing, we don't have to write like that, just X. And toggled is true. So now when we right click, sweet. So when it's on the right side of the page, it's on the left side of our cursor. And when it's on the left side, it's on the right side of our cursor. It's not perfect, admittedly, but most of the time it will not be going off the screen, besides when it's like kind of right in the middle there, but whatever. And then we're going to set our people array. We're just gonna make it so whoever we right click is selected. We're gonna set people to people.map, and we're gonna say person, return all the properties of person, and we're gonna say selected is true if person.id is equal to right clicked person.id. I'm gonna change this right click person to right clicked with the ed. When we right click someone, oh, I forgot to add the class to the people. I'm gonna say class name is equal to backticks if person.selected is true, add selected or not. So now we're gonna handle when you click off of the context menu. So right now I'm clicking over here and it's not going away, not ideal. To do that, I'm going to bring in the useEffect hook from React and detect those clicks. Make sure to import it. So this useEffect, I'm gonna create a new function called handler, pass in the event, and this function we're going to pass into an add event listener. It's gonna be a click event. We're gonna pass in handler, and we're also going to remove it on dismount of the component. Say document.remove event listener, and you have to have the same event type and the same exact function. So in this function, we're gonna say if what we've clicked is not contained in the context menu ref. Actually, first we're gonna wanna check that this actually exists. Then we're gonna say if context menu ref.current does not contain e.target, which is what we've clicked, we're going to call a function that we have not made yet called reset context menu. So reset context menu is gonna be a function that just sets our people, all of them, to false, and it's gonna set our context menu back to its default. X0, Y0, and toggled is false. Set context menu. Oh. Now when we click off of our context menu, it should go away, and our people also get deselected. So it is, in fact, that easy to make a custom context menu or right-click menu. If you like the video, consider subscribing, watching other videos, liking the video, whatever. Thankful to have you here. Yeah, until next time. Peace.